Hi, Rebecca here. So glad you're joining me on your mat today. Today's practice is going to be just a fun flow with a few different funky transitions, so listen up and follow along. And then I wanted to share with you before we drop in just a little food for thought to consider as you're moving through these movements. I've been playing with 3 words and the opposite of those 3 words. Something that maybe you've heard before, been shared by others, but it's so powerful it's worth being reminded of. In yoga, we practice what is known as pratipaksha bhavana. It's the cultivating of opposites. So the 3 words that I've been thinking of is the I have to, which I have to, for me, feels like obligation. There's some resistance there. And I kind of feel like it's the ick energy. If you've ever been with someone who felt like they had to be there, it's usually not the best energy. The opposite of that is the I get to. It is a place of gratitude, of receiving, of appreciation. So I just want to remind us that this isn't something practicing yoga isn't something we have to do, or any kind of movement for that practice, but we get to do it. And it really is so nourishing for our bodies. So let's keep that in mind in this practice. Notice if it's something like you feel like you have to do, maybe you just need to take a little space and take a little break so that you can come back to it with an energy of appreciation, of wanting to do it, of the realization that we get to choose. On that note, let's just start with our shoulders, rolling them up and down. Maybe taking them the other direction. Arms drop down along the sides. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, pressing the palms down through center. Letting this be a reminder to come home to our bodies, bringing our awareness internally. Inhale, arms rise. And then also just to be grounded. Last one, and as the hands come down across the eyes, close the eyes. Maybe resting arms along the sides or bringing palms onto thighs. Let's take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Of amping up our prana, our chi, that vitality, life force energy. Breathing deeply. Expanding torso, 360 degrees. Back side, right, left, front side. Flutter your eyes open. Let's begin in a tabletop. Pressing your hips back towards your heels. Taking hips either to the right or to the left in a circle. So we're going to circle out over left or right hand, and then the other hand, circle the hips in the opposite direction, take them back towards your heels. So big circles here in tabletop to child's pose. Reverse the circle, take it in the other direction. Press back, child's pose. We'll take a little side body stretch here. Bring left hand in toward left knee, right arm reaches over to the left hand side. And as you inhale, lift the hips slightly, lift the ribs off the thighs. Then as you exhale, press the hips back 2 more times like this. Inhale, a little wave, lift. And exhale, press back and feel that stretch on the right-hand side. Oh, it feels so good. Inhale. And exhale. That we don't have to do these movements, but we get to do these movements. Right hand moves into right knee. Left arm reaches up and over to the right-hand side. Inhale, hips lift. exhale, press them back. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands reaching toward the top of your mat. Rise up through tabletop. Shift the weight forward, a little baby chaturanga with the knees down. Press back, child's. Here is our flow. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 3 more. As you send the hips back, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. So here's a little funky twist on plank and bear pose. We're going to step right foot halfway in. So the heel's lifted, toes pressing down, that right knee is bent. We're going to take this into horizon's lunge. Left hand is going to come toward the top of the mat. Left hip is going to drop to the back of the mat. Right hand reaches to the back, hips drop. Inhale, lift and reach, big side bend stretch. And we'll do that for 2. Last one. Hold it here. Right hand is going to come down toward, back to the top of the mat. Turn your toes forward and then walk your hands back towards your feet, Malasana squat. We are now facing the long edge of the mat. We're not like forward, we're not totally toward the side. It's a little bit of a side of the mat squat. Take a couple of deep breaths. We will revisit this later in the practice. So we'll get another chance to experience it. And then keeping the feet where they're at, walk the hands forward. You might step right foot back just a little bit. Bring left foot forward for bear pose, or what I sometimes call hovering table. You've got your knees underneath your hips, your shins are hovering, and then you're energetically dragging the heels of the hands toward the knees, knees toward the heels of the hands. And breathe, feeling that core activation. Step back plank, option for a chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, bringing the knees down to a back bend cobra or upward facing dog, press back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps in halfway for our half bear, half plank. We're going to reach that right arm forward, drop the right hip down, left arm reaches toward the back of the mat, hip drops, and then inhale, lift, side bend. Exhale, and inhale. Left hand comes back down onto the mat, toes turn forward, keep your feet where they're at, walk your hands to your feet. And now you are turned out toward the long edge of your mat. Kind of sideways a little bit. Spine long, hips grounded. Crawl it forward, turning your feet forward, hands to the top of the mat. You might step that left foot back just a little bit, step that right foot in. Here is our bear hovering table posture. Take some deep breaths here. Step back plank. Option for a flow or extra push-ups, or simply press back to the inversion of downward facing dog. Right leg lifts high. Right knee to nose, right foot to right thumb tip, left knee comes down, Anjaneyasana. Straighten right leg, airplane the arms and hinge out over right leg, half splits. 2 more like that. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half splits, airplane arms. Inhale and exhale. Hold it here for the hamstring stretch. Option to bring the hands down or keep the airplane arms. Slow, steady breaths. Sole of right foot comes down, knee bends. Tuck left toes, lift the knee, pivot the heel down. So warrior 2 legs, stay low here. Hands come inside of right leg and then start to walk the hands over to the left. Press that right knee back, opening through the hip, deepen the breath. Spine lengthens, side body's open. And then crawl your hands to the back, coming into a side angle pose. Rise, reverse triangle. Floating that right arm across the abdomen, eagle arms. Turn the toes out, the heels in, goddess stance. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, elbows to navel, chin toward chest. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. We're going to unwind the arms, side angle to the top of the mat. Scoop that right glute under, squeeze it, press left hip back. And then find a cactus goalpost arm with the top arm, left. And then we're gonna thread left arm underneath right. Keep the bend in the elbows, inhale, lift. Exhale, thread. One more. This time we are going to create a quad sandwich. You're gonna bring that left forearm underneath the hamstring. You're gonna bring right forearm onto the quad. And then we're going to take this into a warrior 3 with that right thigh sandwiched. Obviously, if this arm variation does not work for you, drop the hands down toward the floor or reach them back, reach them forward. Drop that left outer hip down as you spiral the inner thigh up toward the ceiling. Left hand comes down, step right foot back, side plank. And we're going to bring right foot toward the center of our mat, coming into our horizons lunge, dropping the hip down, and then inhale, lift up. Exhale, hip drops. Inhale, we lift. Last one. Hold it here, that right hand comes down, turning the toes forward. Walk the hands toward the feet. Here's our funky malasana again. Opened out to the side of the mat. Wide angled forward fold, stepping the feet wide, feet parallel. Bring hands underneath the face. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, round. And then side bend to the top. Side bend to the back. Center, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, round and tuck. Side bend to the top. Side bend to the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Side bend. Crawl the hands forward, runner's lunge. Hands come inside of right leg. You might step that left leg back a little bit. Option to keep it active, left knee lifted or bring it down. Maybe you can come down onto your forearms or forearms onto a block. You could roll out onto the pinky edge side of that right foot. Also, you could drive that right knee into right arm. So they'll both give you a little different activation or opening. You know, we have choices here, choosing what's best for you. And then rising up, let's heel toe that right foot off to the side, coming into pigeon, or a seated figure four, or a supine figure four, what is just right for you. And hinge and fold forward. Let's take some deep breaths here. Option to add on a twist in the upper body. Left arm reaches forward, right arm threads underneath. You may take the right side of your face down toward the floor. Another progression would be to bend that knee, bend left knee, drawing the heel towards your butt, and then the left hand grabs a hold of that foot or ankle. And release. If you've got the quad stretch, let it go. If the twist, unwind. We're gonna walk the hands back toward the hips, tucking that right toe, or tucking those left toes, lifting that right leg. Option three-legged dog here. Little hip opener to stretch it out. And release. Here we go. Other side. Left leg lifts. Left knee to nose. Left foot to left thumb tip. Right knee comes down. Anjaneyasana. Lift your ribs off your pelvis. Send your hips forward and down. Deepen your breath. Airplane. The arms hinge the torso. Straighten left leg. Half splits. And we flow. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to half splits with airplane arms. One more. We will hold it here. You can keep the airplane arms. You can drop the hands down toward the floor. The sole of left foot down, bend the knee. Tuck right toes, lift the knee, pivot the heel down. Warrior two legs, you're pressing actively that left knee out to the left. As you walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, pressing your sits bones away from your fingertips. Big hip stretch. Deep, full body breaths. Maybe choosing to remember or to be in awe in the ways that your body can move, and all the ways that it supports us. And walk your hands to the back of your mat so those left toes turn in, right toes turn to the back. Extended side angle. Squeezing that right glute, drawing it underneath left, and dropping right shoulder away from right ear. Reverse triangle. Float that left arm across the abdomen if it's not already. Eagle arms, left arm wraps underneath right. Lifting elbows up towards shoulder height, toes out, heels in. Hips sink back and down. Inhale to lift and exhale to curl. Two more. Extended side angle to the top. Left forearm onto the thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Draw that left glute underneath the right side of the pelvis. Make a bent elbow 90-degree angle with the right arm, and then we're going to thread that right arm underneath left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread and hold. You're gonna bring that right forearm to the back of the left hamstring. Left forearm is pressing into the quad. Maybe you stay right here. We're gazing forward. Everything pivots to face the top of the mat. And then a warrior 3 with that forearm sandwich of that left thigh. Intentional full body breaths. Right hand comes down, left foot steps back, side plank. You can bring that bottom knee down if you'd like. Left foot is gonna step out in front, about midway in the mat. Left hand is gonna reach toward the back of the mat, the hip drops, and then inhale, we lift. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hold it here. Left hand comes down, the toes turn toward the top of the mat, and then you walk your hands back towards your feet. So now the toes are going to turn out, the heels in, and we're in this funky sideways facing malasana. We're going to crawl those hands toward the top of our mat. Oh, I'm sorry. Almost forgot it. Wide angled forward fold. Out to the long edge. So feet are wide, feet parallel. And then inhale, half lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen, and then side bend to the top. And side bend to the back. Inhale, half length. Half lift. Exhale, round. Side bend to the top. Side bend to the back. One more. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, round. Side bend top. Side bend left or back. And then walk the hands forward. Hands come inside of left foot. Runner's lunge. Maybe take that right leg back a little further. Option to bring the right knee down or keep it lifted. Stay high. If it's available, come down low. And noticing what you want to do here with the hip, the foot, whether you roll onto the pinky edge side or you draw that knee in toward your shoulder on the left. Rise up, pigeon pose, heel toe, left foot over to the right. Square your hips and your shoulders forward. Option to take seated figure 4 or a supine figure 4. Soften, fold if it's available or when you're ready. Optional add-ons. Right arm reaches forward, left arm threads underneath for a little upper body twist. Quad stretch, right knee bends, right heel draws towards your butt, and right hand grabs a hold of the foot or ankle. If you have the quad stretch, let it go. If you came into the upper body twist, unwind. We're going to walk the hands back toward the hips, lifting the torso. Tuck your back toes. Lift the knee and send that left leg back, either stepping it back or three-legged dog with maybe an open hip. Might feel nice as a counter stretch. And back to down dog. Roll forward plank. Come down onto your belly. Reach your arms forward. Exhale the breath out, press your pubic bone down. Inhale, lift right arm, left leg. And exhale, back down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, bring it down. Just alternate arm and leg move with your breath. If you're wanting more, lift both arms and legs, and then flutter kick here, both arms and legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll bring it down. Roll onto your side, come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And tee out your arms, let the knees drop over to the right. Let them hover. Back to center, knees to chest. And tee the arms, drop the knees to the left. Back to center and hug. Keep going. From right to left, adding that hug in the middle. Slow, steady, mindful movements. Once again, just remembering the movements that you get to make, that your body is able to make. And not placing judgment on what we can or cannot do. And letting go of the shoulds, the have-tos. And being in this state of receiving gratitude. Come back to center, hug the knees into your chest, then take the knees wide, happy baby pose. We call this happy baby for a reason. It is meant to remind us of that childlike wonder. Let it be playful. Supine frog. So now we're going to bring those lower legs parallel, dropping the knees directly out from the hips. So those lower legs are floating. So for me, my toes are turned out and my heels are in. And if you want to rock here, or you want to shimmy the knees from the back of the mat to the top of the mat, you could simply just lay here and place a little gentle pressure of the hands or the forearms inside the inner thighs. You could point and flex the feet. Sleeping butterfly, soles of the feet come together, the pinky edge side of the foot rests down on the floor, the knees drop out. Hands, maybe one hand to heart, one hand to belly, or you could tee out the arms, you could reach the arms overhead. What is just right for you in this moment? And let the thoughts dissolve and melt. Let the body relax and rest. And like a butterfly, reminding ourselves that there's some work and effort in, moving into the butterfly stage, right? It starts as a caterpillar and moves into the cocoon and then comes out the other side as a butterfly. But to get through those stages, there is effort, there is letting go. Bring the hands to the outsides of the knees, draw the knees back together. Full body stretch. When you're ready, roll onto your side and press up to a seat. Hands to heart center. Thanks for joining me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Hariam Tat Sat.